Your first property deal doesn't fail because you lack money. It fails because you don't have a plan. On top of your £31,000, you're talking about £43,000 cash flow you would have made from that same investment property. A few years ago, I was like most professionals, working ridiculously long hours in a job where I was undervalued, underappreciated, living paycheck to paycheck. Ready to take note? Here are the 5 simple steps you could implement to start and scale your property investment journey. Your first property deal doesn't fail because you lack money. It fails because you don't have a plan. And today, I'm going to give you the exact roadmap I wish I had when I started my property investment journey. A few years ago, I was like most professionals, working ridiculously long hours in a job where I was undervalued, underappreciated, living paycheck to paycheck, hoping, praying, more degrees, qualifications, and prayers will help me escape the rat race. But that never happened until I took my finances into my own hands. Instead of relying on one source of active income, and took action and secured my first property deal. From there, I was able to build a multi-million pound property investment portfolio that made me never to work for some company again. Listen, if you can't invest 10 minutes to learn how I secure my first property deal and recycle my money, which then helped me move from being a dead broke accountant to becoming successful and rich, I'm afraid you're still gonna be stuck in the rat race, stay poor as you're currently doing in your professional career. For the few of you who stick around, let's go. Look, if you implement what I'm about to share with you without shadow of a doubt, you'd make working for some company an option instead of an obligation. Most professionals I speak to are stuck. They want to invest in property, but don't know where to start. So they scroll Rightmove, watch YouTube videos, save a bit of money, but never actually take action. And whilst they're thinking about it, other professionals are buying, refinancing, and building profitable property portfolios. That was me, working long hours as an accountant, good salary, but no freedom. I remember my first deal did not come quickly. It took me 6 months. I made mistakes, wrong areas, wrong numbers, overthinking everything. But once I understood the process, everything became clearer. And that one deal, it wasn't just income, it was confidence. Because the hardest property you will ever do is your first. Ready to take note? Here are the 5 simple steps you could implement to start and scale your property investment journey. Step 1, research. Don't guess, know what you're doing. This is where most professionals rush and pay for it later. You need to understand the area, rental demand, local prices. Think of it like this. Buying without research is like driving blindfolded. You might move, but you will crash eventually. Don't pick areas based on emotions. Follow your numbers, not your feelings. 2, this is one of the most important things. Financing. Money follows clarity. You don't always need your own money. You've got options: mortgages, joint ventures, family funding, lease option agreement, rent to rent, and so many other strategies. You see, when I started, I did not have capital, but I had a plan. And when your numbers make sense, money becomes easier to attract. Because money follows plans. Waiting until you feel ready financially is a massive mistake. Here's why feeling ready never comes. Build a strategy first, funding follows. 3, you're gonna love this one. Sourcing deals. Deals are found, not given. Good deals don't fall in your lap. You got to go out there, find them, speak to agents, make offers, network with like-minded individuals, but also buy below market property deals. And I will give an example how that would make you rich. My first deal did not come from luck. It comes from persistence. Listen, don't wait for the perfect deal. Waiting for the perfect deal is like waiting for traffic lights to be green before you start driving. Take action, create opportunities. 4, this is what's gonna get you rich. Due diligence. Trust numbers, not hype. This is where deals are won or lost. You need to check your purchase price, your refurbishment cost, your rental income, and your profit margin. Let me walk you through an example how you make money when you buy, not when you sell or remortgage. Oh, sorry for interrupting this video. I just wanted to draw your attention to a guide I've just created. This guide is for you if you're looking to start and scale in property investment, and you've got questions that you want to ask in order to start your property investment. This guide is the ultimate guide to start and scale in property investment journey. I talk about the different type of investment strategies. I also discuss the 11 ways you can raise finance to make any property no money down deals, and the type of properties to buy in order to generate a serious return in your investment. And I'm giving this book away for completely free of charge, no string attached, nothing, absolutely free. Click the link on the description of this video to get your free guide now. We've only got a limited number of these copies available as well, so click the link to get your guide now. Let's get back to our video. Suppose there's a property in the market, let's say for £100,000. We're gonna go and negotiate with the owner or the agent is selling that property and buy that property for below market. Let's say we buy that property for only 10% of the asking price. That would be £90,000. Fast forward, we buy the property, not even doing work in it, we just sit in it and then kind of rent it to a tenant. That 10% discount is when you make money from the time you buy that property. You might not realize that money now, but let me show you where the magic happens. Suppose you've rented that property now and you're making passive recurring income, and you have taken a mortgage initially to buy that property. Let's say fast forward to about 2 years from now, assuming the property has gone up by 10% every single year, it would have gone up by the £100,000. You would have bought it, not the £90,000. Am I making sense? Fantastic. Let's say now the property price went up 10% every single year. So your first year, if you put 10% there, that property would have gone up by £110,000. And your second year, the same property would have gone up also by 10%. So that would have been £111,000. So that same property you would have bought for £100,000 now worth a fair market value of £121,000. So in essence, you would have made the £121,000, which is the value of the property today, minus the £90,000 you've bought that property a couple of years ago. That same property would have generated the £31,000 capital appreciation. That's what I call you make money when you buy the property, not when you remortgage or sell it. Imagine for a second, we've rented that same property and we're making £500 net profit every single month. Times that by 12, you're talking about also you would have made £6,000 net profit from the same property. If you add the 6,000 plus the 31,000, that same property would have generated you £37,000. Rent and capital appreciation. That's how you build wealth. £37,000. As I said, in 2 years time, that same property would have generated a capital appreciation of £31,000. That is the benefit of just owning a property. Here's the icing on the cake. At the same time, suppose we'd have rented that property for £500 net profit every single month. In 12 months time, it makes you £6,000 every year. Times 2 years, that is £12,000. So if you add that £12,000, on top of your £31,000, you're talking about £43,000 cash flow you would have made from that same investment property. You would have made £10,000 just from buying the property at 10% discount, but also you would have generated £33,000 in rent and capital appreciation, and that's what's really getting you to become rich. That is just buying it, not doing anything to the property, and just rent it out. Let me show you what gets you to become filthy rich. Next, let's say we buy that same investment property, we've negotiated, we bought it for £90,000. £90,000. Let's say we went on, it was a dilapidated house, we renovated it, we upgraded the bathroom, the kitchen, we upgraded the electric and all the central heating. We kind of bring the property into a nice modern standard. Let's say we spend about £25,000 doing that. That would have given us, that method I've just shared with you is just buying a house, not doing any work in it, and then rent it out. Let me share with you what's gonna make you filthy rich. Suppose the same investment property, we went and bought it this time as a dilapidated house, a house that is not in a livable condition. So we went in, upgraded the bathroom, upgraded the kitchen, upgraded the electric, the plumbing, where we painted and decorated that house, and makes it look absolutely amazing. So we bought it at £90,000. We invested £30,000 to do all that work. We add that up together, that gives us an initial investment of £120,000. Because we have upgraded the bathroom, upgraded the kitchen, we've modernized it, we added value to that property. That property is likely to come back at £150,000. Why? Due to the value we've added to the property. We've taken a dead, dilapidated house and converted it into a kind of a nice brand new property that looks absolutely amazing. So in essence, we have manipulated and forced the value by using the £30,000 investment. And this is what makes it amazing. So you bought the property and investment at £120,000. The property has now gone up by £150,000. Guess what? If you minus the £150,000 from £120,000, you would have generated a net profit of £30,000. Now tell me which stock or shares you'll be able to do this though in 3 months and made that much money. Crazy, right? I thought so too. Listen to this. If the numbers don't work on paper, they won't work in reality. Guessing costs you lots of money. Be conservative. Always add a buffer. Step 5 will blow your mind away. First, turn it into an asset. Once you've done all that amazing work, the property is ready. The goal is simple: cash flow and capital appreciation. Find the right tenant, set the right rent, keep the property maintained. This is where your property becomes more than a purchase. It becomes an income producing asset for you and your family. Look, salary pays you once. Property pays you forever. Let me ask you a question. What's really stopping you? Is it money or is it uncertainty? Because one can be solved with strategy and the other, only you can fix it. Here's the thing. Property isn't complicated, but it does require clarity. When you have a roadmap, you stop guessing and start building. And remember, your first deal won't make you rich, but it will change how you think forever. If this gives you clarity, comment below what your next action is. I want to know who's serious about getting started. If you want more simple, real strategies that actually work in the UK property market, hit subscribe, because the goal isn't just learning property, it is to build freedom. If you like this video or any of my videos, smash the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. I look forward to sharing the next one.